Okay, we are in Indiana Lesson 6. Indiana Lesson 6, and in this one we are talking about cross sections. A cross section is the two-dimensional shape that is exposed when a slice is made through a three-dimensional object. So we're talking about a cross section. Now, one cross section, like here we have a loaf of bread, is like a vertical cross section. They are cutting the bread straight down vertically. And then another cross section that they could do is the horizontal cross section where they're cutting it through horizontally. So there's two types of cross sections then that you could describe. Now in this particular one, the cross section is parallel to the front and back faces. So it is the same shape as those faces. So you can see there's the front and here's the back. And when you sliced it vertically straight down through this, the slice is going to be this figure, which is a rectangle. And so it's going to be the same shape as what the front is and the back is. So the dimensions for that slice or that cross section would be 3 inches long, and it would be then 2 inches tall. So 3 inches for the length and 2 inches then for the height of that rectangle. So the cross section is a rectangle that is 3 inches by 2 inches. Now if we do a horizontal slice, where we slice through it, then it's going to be, the cross section is parallel to the top and the bottom faces, so it is the same shape as those faces. So this slice horizontal is the same as the top, so it would look like a rectangle like this, same as the top or the bottom, because they are parallel and they would be the same size. Now, the length here would be 4, so the length would be 4, and in this case then, the width here would be 3. Because we're doing it horizontally, we would not be using the height here. So the dimensions are 4 inches by 3 inches for that cross section. So we've got vertical cross sections, we've got horizontal cross sections, and they're going to have you draw out what the cross section would look like, and they're also going to have you give the dimensions. So in this try it, Zachary made a vertical slice, so he's cutting it vertically straight down, that was parallel to the left and right faces of the bread roll. What shape is the cross section and what are its dimensions? So since we're cutting it vertically, then the shape of this cross section would be the same as this plane here, this side, and also be the same as this backside one. They called it left and right faces. All right, so it would be the same shape as that, so it will be a rectangle. Now then, so that would go here, we would write rectangle. And then it also, so the shape of the cross section is a rectangle that is blank inches by blank inches. So looking at our figure here, the length of the figure here is going to be this section here, because it's the same shape as this side here. So it's going to be 4 inches by then the height, which is going to be 2 inches. And so it would be 4 inches by 2 inches would be the dimensions then for that cross section. All right, so you're going to be doing cross sections. Now you're going to be doing it with different figures. You may do it with a pyramid, you may do it with a cylinder, and there are some examples that go along here. If I move my book over, we can look. Here's an example 2 is a cross section of a pyramid, and you can look at this example in your book online. It is on the page 35, and so it's doing cross sections there, which would be the same as the base, except since it's a pyramid, they do get smaller as it goes up. Here, if you make a vertical cross section, it's going to be a triangle. It's going to be the shape of a triangle. And here we have one as a cylinder, where if you do a horizontal cross section, then it's going to be the same as the bases, which are circles, the top and the bottom. And if you do a vertical slice, it ends up to be a rectangle. The vertical cross section cut through the center of a circular basis creates a rectangle that is as tall as the cylinder and as wide as the diameter of the circle. So we have a rectangle formed if we do a vertical slice through the cylinder. So you have these two examples also that you could look at in your book. So what we're talking about are cross sections of three-dimensional figures, and it may be of a rectangular prism, it may be of a pyramid, it may be of a cylinder. So you may have different three-dimensional figures, and you've got to describe the cross section.